fastest to the first control point between Rosario and San Juan in Argentina, so they know all about desert racing.
I spoke a little too early about being in good shape, as it looks as if they're pulling over now for what hopefully is just a puncture. Shouldn't have too big an effect on position as the horns are far behind.
Well, speaking of which, here are the brothers, still in third place in Class T.
Another family affair, this time father and son, Quinton and Cully Silvalt, still leading proceedings in the specials. The Elegant Fuel Bat team have really come into their own this season and are serious challengers to take over the throne from Hutchison and Stassen.
Well, speaking of Donaldson Cross Country Championship challengers, Berthold and Rousseau in the Atlas Copco Ford Ranger, very much in the hunt for the Dakar Challenge title.
Still second in Class A, but still first in the Dakar Challenge, Hutchison and Stassen from Motorride. The driver admitting that this race has been extremely hard, with left and rights all the way.
Last time we saw Deploy and Janse van Vuren, they were cruising into 5th place in Class T when they overtook Van Biljon and Harselman. This time around, apart from visibility being extremely poor, they're slowing down. And they've come to a stop, and let's hope that the nudge with Van Biljon didn't have something to do with it.
Unfortunately, it looks as if they are out, meaning Van Biljon and Hasselman are back up to 5th place.
In 6th place, championship co-leaders Schroeder and Badenhorst from Atlas Copco Ford Racing, their rear tail light hanging on by a thread.
In 7th position now, the men from South America, Varela and Gugleman. Brazil might have been knocked out of the World Cup, but these guys are still very much in this race.
Nice to see Wichart and Herman Silvalt back up and running. They're 4th amongst the specials despite their earlier hiccup.
No such problems for Jannie Vis and Joks Leroux from Rubicon Racing. They're first in Class S.
Well, it's always amazing to see how many fans come out for this event. And you can't miss the bright green bat venom of Barnes and Usher, looking right at home in 5th place.
The DRC team, Eduardo and Ricardo Agazzi, have dropped down to 6th in their bat spec 4. At least they're still competing. DNFs have littered their season so far.
Colin Matthews picked up a horrible DNF just before the end last year. No signs of that at the moment. He and Burke are first in Class P. And I really should learn to keep my mouth shut. They're slowing down and have come to a standstill, holding thumbs that they'll be back en route in no time.
Loop 1 done and dusted. Taylor and Murphy are the men to catch in the productions, 1 minute and 29 seconds ahead of teammates Polt and Howie, while the Horns are exactly 11 minutes off the pace. So far, it's been a great day for the Castrol Toyota camp.
It went well. Leroy got a puncture, and then I got about a 3-minute gap, and then I got a flat now about 3 k's from the end, so I drove it in flat. But yeah, it's very sandy and very, very, very tight. But otherwise going well.
Yeah, the cars look pretty beaten up.
Yeah, it's sticks and trees, that overhanging trees. It's so tight, it's unbelievable. I've never turned so many corners in my life. But yeah, it's going well. It's very nice.
No doubt that the men from Malalan are thrilled with the added benefits of having a works crew assisting with servicing at the DSP. No doubt it's contributed to their terrific 2014. But let's catch up with one of our Dakar challengers in the Ford Racing camp.
It's been a very, very tough morning out there. I tell you what, if you haven't got strong arms and a lot of fitness, the guys are going to be tired today. It's extremely tight, it's treacherous, so got to keep our eyes on the road and the hands on the wheel. Fortunately for the Dakar Challenge, we seem to have just got past Evan in the tight stuff, and we gave him a little nudge and he moved over politely, so it's been good racing and we're leading the Dakar Challenge. Hopefully we can keep it out front there.
So Burkhalter and Rousseau, the front runners for that free entry to Dakar. And over in the specials, Quinton and Cully Silvalt are on top, 1 minute 46 seconds clear of Hutchison and Stassen, with the other Silvalts, Wichart and Hardeman, up to third.
As you heard from Gary, it's not often that the productions and specials compete against each other, but this time around, it's certainly the case with the Dakar Challenge at stake.
We battled a bit. Gary got past us as I predicted in the very tight stuff. He gave us a little kiss on the back and went off into the distance. So he's on fire. But otherwise, car's good. We're down to the last lap. We just got to bring it home now and look after our second.
Yo, it's been crazy out there, but lots of fun. I made one very stupid little mistake right at the start. I beached the car at a stop street, but I suppose rookie error. Lost a couple of places there, but other than that, no problems. Yeah, it's been quite basically a clean run.
While the team still have another loop to contend with, that's not the case with Class G, who do half the distance of the bigger boys.
We heard from his dad Neil earlier. Here's his son Gareth and boy Dreyer capturing victory in their Polaris.
In second place, Daniel van Rooyen and Thijs Grevenstein in their Polaris.
This man knows his motorbikes, but he's settling in very nicely to the side-by-sides. Brian Kappa with Jaco Swart from Regent Racing, they're third.
Lying fourth, Leander Pinaar, a man no stranger to winning, alongside Stephen Moret.
And rounding off the top five, Vanna Mostert and Henna de Ploy in a Motonetics Polaris Razor 900.
Oh, it's absolutely huge for me. Since I was a little kid, I dreamt about winning this race. I watched my dad win it in a couple of years in his racing car. And yeah, it's just been a dream for me to win. Obviously, winning in the side-by-side is not the same as winning it overall, but it's a huge accomplishment for me so far, and I think quite an important role in the championship for this year.
What a well-spoken young man, and one who has a massive future ahead of him. Well, back to Loop 2, and it's Taylor and Murphy leaving nothing to chance. After 190 kilometers, they're still well in control of this race.
Poulter and Howie have hold of second place. If it remains this way, it will be their second of the season.
Well, they experienced a puncture during the first loop, and Leroy admits that despite it being tricky, the fact that bikes and quads were on this route a day earlier definitely helped them to navigate better.
We saw them arrive into the DSP with the flat. Luckily no issues this time around. The Horns, Johan and Vanna in third place.
The first of the specials, Quinton Silvalt and his dad Cully, the Elegant Fuel team are dominating matters in this race, and if it stays this way, in the championship too.
Lying fourth in the Class T, but crucially first in the Dakar Challenge, Berthold and Rousseau from Atlas Copco Ford Racing.
Not far behind them, their main challengers for the challenge, Hutchison and Stassen, and this is going to be a tight finish between these two. Exciting, especially given what's at stake.
They've climbed their way to fifth, championship co-leaders Schroeder and Badenhorst. Schroeder saying earlier at the DSP that while the car is good, they seem to be just off the pace.
Well, we heard from young Wichard Silvalt earlier. He's settling into the driving job, kilometre by kilometre. Him and Dad Herman are still in third spot.
In fourth place amongst the specials, Barnes and Asher. Can they crack the podium with the finish line nearing?
After 250 kilometres, Taylor and Murphy still in front, followed by Poulter and Howie, and the Horns from Malalaan. Berthold and Rousseau are still leading the Dakar Challenge, just ahead of Hutchison and Stassen.
The Castrol Toyota team are dominating matters out in the baking sun, with the finish line beckoning. Taylor and Murphy look to be headed for their second consecutive win in the desert. They really do like it out here.
And following on strong, the Hilux of Poulter and Howie. The Dakar boys proving they learnt a few things in the big race.
No surprises who's third. Johan and Van are surely not going to let this slip. A third podium in a row beckons for the Horn brothers.
All eyes on Berthold and Rousseau from Atlas Copco Ford Racing. They may be outside the top three, but as you've heard throughout, their prize is the ticket to South America.
Speaking of Dakar, Jaapie Badenhorst took part this year, and the unfortunate crash that he and Chris Visser had meant that Manfred Schroeder took over the wheel, and he's doing very well. They're currently fifth.
Horrible news for Hutchison and Stassen. Their car set alight after their engine belt broke just 2 kilometres from the finish, and their race and Dakar Challenge dream is over. Cully and Quinton Silvalt here first in Class A.
Lying in sixth place in Class T, the Brazilians Varela and Gugleman. They put in a very impressive showing on foreign terrain.
The leaders in Class S, Yanni Visser and Joks Leroux from Rubicon Racing.
Mohate, Quinton and Kali Silvolt are now out. It means that the other Silvolts are first, with Barnes and Asher up to second.
Well, lying in 7th place in Class T, Henny de Klerk and Johan Smallberger in their Treasury 1 BMW, an excellent performance and certainly one of their best showings.
The leading Regent racing car, the celebs Terence Marsh and Stefan Blanche, they're 8th.
Not far behind, another Regent racer, the father and son pair from Germany, Jürgen and Daniel Schroeder, 9th despite rolling.
Second in Class S, Lodebrain and Rian Krailing in the Rubicon Racing Ford Ranger.
Heartbreak again for Colin Matthews, a DNF for him, meaning James Watson and John Thompson have taken over the lead in Class P.
Second in that class, Sean Wright and Michael Abramson from Regent Racing looking for their second consecutive finish.
And rounding off the top 3 in Class S, Peter Ruthven and Hansi Reeder in the Rubicon Racing Toyota.
The final competitors still going strong, Keith Makaneta and Maloisi Borofo in their Zarko Magnum. Their Hilux has seen better days, but there's no denying that Taylor and Murphy are the real deal. What an outstanding performance from the pair once again. They're cruising to the finish. And there it is, the winners in production, Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy.
Anthony, you guys have done it yet again, and you made it look so easy. You got out that car and it looked like you just stepped off the beach.
I must be honest, it's never easy at the Toyota Desert 1000, and I must say today was no exception either, because it was tough out there today. It was very tight and twisty, and Dennis did a sterling job keeping me on the road the whole time, and to pull off a win here in Toyota country is just absolutely phenomenal with the amount of spectators and support that Toyota gets out here. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So what a brilliant result for us, 1, 2, 3.
Another fabulous drive from Taylor and Murphy, finishing ahead of their teammates Polt and Howie, with the Horns coming in third. As a result, Taylor and Murphy take sole possession of the Donaldson Cross Country Championship lead.
In the specials, Wichert and Herman Silval take the win, their second consecutive victory at the Toyota 1000 Desert Race.
Lady Luck really shined on me today. I feel so terrible for the guys that broke down, but I would like to take this moment just to thank a few people. First of all, my father here next to me for letting me bash up his car in the Botswana bush and having the balls to sit next to me all that way. And secondly, everyone on our team, the technical assistants, they work so hard. And without them, obviously there's no way we could do this.
A proud moment for the father and son team. What a driving debut from Wichert. Big future awaits. Barnes and Asher finished second, while James Watson and John Thompson rounded off the podium.
They may have finished 4th in class, but Gary Bertholt and Siegfried Rousseau from Atlas Copco Ford Racing were crowned the winners in the Dakar Challenge.
Absolutely amazing. We've come here 3 times to try and do this. This is our 3rd entry. I take my hat off to Siegfried. He knows this desert inside out, and he certainly showed me the road to bring it home to win this fantastic Dakar Challenge. This Atlas Copco Ranger kept us on the road. Siegfried kept me on the straight and narrow, and I'm really grateful for the team for what they've done.
Next month, it's one of the jewels of South Africa and the flagship event of the championship, the Force Fuel 450 at Sun City.
It's without doubt one of the highlights of the year. Don't miss it, only on SuperSport.
The Donaldson